Alright, pop quiz. What do you get when you drive one of the founding members out of your company because he wanted to make Doom VR compatible and then make a VR spin-off after he leaves? You get a messy, boring, yet occasionally fun experience. Doom VFR released about a year after Doom 2016 and to decent reviews, which made it all the more heartbreaking that I can't afford a VR headset. So I flew across the country to borrow this fuckhead's. I never knew how much I hated PlayStation VR until this moment. The control is okay, but it was a little taken aback by the tutorial in the game. I guess you would realistically need one since it's VR, but one of my favorite things about Doom is the game teaching you how to play without the need of many tutorials, if any. So I was a little worried that the essence of Doom might be lost in this VR expansion, which it both is and isn't. I also should say that I couldn't beat the game on Elliot's PSVR, so instead I bought it on Steam and I went to a friend's house and played it on his Vive. What, you think I got $700 to drop on a VR headset right now? For one, the character you control talks for Pete's sake, which does aid in progressing the story along, but really breaks the immersion for me.
Need to see facility status. That's odd.
The voice acting actually isn't the worst. Since my VR goggles tend to fog up a little bit when I play, having someone talk to me to tell me what to do instead of having to read it is actually pretty nice. You play as Dr. Peters. You know, this guy.
Access granted. Hello, Dr. Peters.
I'm not kidding, he's who you play as in this game. He's killed in an elevator during the Hell invasion and his brain is backed up into a robot chassis just like Dr. Hayden, which is really cool from a lore point of view, but also comes with some perks like being able to teleport and... no, that's actually really it. I am a little put off that this is who they choose for you to play as in this expansion. I honestly expected one of the elite guards, but I guess you can't make them teleport. And besides, they're all dead because of Olivia, so oops. It just feels a little too convenient that this random UAC employee becomes a demigod of demon slaying, with one key difference from the Slayer being that he can teleport. So tell me, why do we even need a Slayer if we have this teleporting demon-killing robot with the exact same abilities? This fucker has the balls to hack into Samuel Hayden's office. Where's this dude's statue? Oh, yeah, there are hacking minigames in this, cause who the fuck wants a VR Doom experience where you're only shooting things? It's easy, like really easy. I only fucked it up once because I was too impatient to read the tutorial. You would think that combat would have to be nerfed a little bit to accommodate for not being a trans-dimensional demon killer, but no, a lot of the combat is very much the same as Doom 2016. You could slow down time when teleporting or picking weapons, but there's plenty of times where I'm stuck and forced to bring my attention to the weapon wheel to select the appropriate weapon and die as a result. It's much harder to multitask when in VR. And you don't even get those cool death animations where the demons are basically glory killing you. It just goes pfft. They also throw you into the middle of 2016's campaign, starting with the BFG division, with almost the exact same enemy placements, meaning you're seeing cyber mancubi in the first minutes of the game. It just feels kinda lazy, dropping you into such an unforgiving part of the game while the player is still getting their bearings. Some of it is pretty cool though, and there were parts that I thought the combat was really starting to shine. The biggest issue though is that most of the enemies in Doom 2016 were built around the idea of you being able to maneuver around fluidly, but here you can only teleport and dash, which can lead to some really frustrating moments, particularly with pressure units like Hell Knights who force you to retreat, but without an easy way to move around, it just feels frustrating and outside of my control. And I'll tell you, I never thought I'd piss my pants at the sight of a lost soul, yet here we are. Again, not all of the game is combat, with key moments of the adventure being hacking, adjusting lasers, and literally cleaning up after the Doom Slayer. Maybe that's why John Carmack left id. He didn't want Doom VR to be Doom Janitor Eternal. You have this force AoE that pushes everything away from you, but because of the enemy placement and the fact that I can't even see it on the HUD when I'm playing, it never seems like something I can do when playing the game in VR. The HUD is just slightly off-center enough that I can barely see the meter for this thing. I forgot I had this for a majority of the game and barely even touched it until the folks watching me play it reminded me that I had it. Argent cells and weapon upgrades return, though each weapon only has one upgrade, and the upgrade station uses the same model and map icon as the automap stations in 2016, which was really confusing at first. Argent cells are more or less the same, but armor and health have been simplified into a single category, with the third option giving you more time-stopping juice. Moments where you acquire new weapons are brought on with little to no fanfare and are picked up when you enter the vicinity, leading to plenty of moments where you're like, when the fuck did I get this? Hey, remember telefragging, that mechanic from classic Doom and Quake that wasn't even possible nor referenced in Doom 2016? That's your glory kill mechanic this time around. And while I applaud the developers for remembering such a cool yet niche part of id lore, I guess I'm just confused why they bring it back for the VR spin-off, but not the game it was made from. Plus it just doesn't feel as good. It's not satisfying. I wonder how many people got turned off from this game knowing they can't glory kill in VR. If I can give the game a positive though, I do enjoy the world building of Doom VFR. Fleshing out Samuel Hayden's stroggification with this nobody UIC facility member, and expanding on many of the plot points of the original game and the BFG division of the UIC. Most of the areas you explore in this game are ported straight from Doom 2016, though you do explore some new areas on rare occasion. You don't get any new primary weapons, though your grenades do get upgraded into a grenade launcher, which was ported in from the multiplayer of Doom 2016, but in terms of single player, I think this is the thing's first appearance in an official Doom title, unless you count the Quake series. You're taught this in a tutorial, which I understand you need a dedicated tutorial for VR games, but the idea of Doom needing a tutorial kind of rubbed me the wrong way. They put a really big emphasis on throwing grenades, just to replace it with a grenade launcher minutes later where you just aim and click it like any other gun. I found the game to be a bit more forgiving once you get the BFG. Oh, I'm sorry, the BFG grenade launcher? It's just sitting on the floor. Okay, someone's getting fired for this. Was it you, Papyrus? Even though you have a meter that's intended to limit how much you can stop time, that meter isn't drained when you pull up the weapon wheel, which makes sense because you can't shoot your gun in this mode. However, that doesn't apply to your secondary grenade launcher, which has now been upgraded to a small fucking gun, and yes, the pause trick from Doom 2016 still works, so you can just pull up the weapon wheel and watch as your entire field of view is filled with blurry green energy. I found the hell levels to be visually stunning despite being the same hell levels from Doom 2016, but being fully immersed in this world through VR made me truly appreciate some of the architecture and art design, noticing things that otherwise I'd normally just glance at. Oh, and should I mention that we got here by shooting two prototype BFG cannons together? Yeah, what the fuck? The BFG division acts as your hub for this game, teleporting to different levels and whatnot. And that is pretty cool. I did say in my 2016 review that I wish we had a hub so that we can look at all these action figures that we can collect, and yeah, that's exactly what we get here. Yeah, the action figures are back from Doom 2016, and I love it because I could just hold them in my hand. You do end up going through the same path that the Doomslayer traversed to get the Crucible, but this time it takes you to the Cyberdemon fight, so I'm assuming this isn't canon. I know the classic Cyberdemon is becoming a recurring demon in Doom Eternal, but this Cyberdemon and that Tyrant are two completely different demons at this point. The Slayer had to kill this guy to get the Argent Accumulator out of his chest. Did this guy just put it back so the Doomslayer could use it later or something? And yes, the Icon of Sin is still here, and once again he dropped his action figure, John Romero, you klutz. This Cyberdemon fight is without a doubt the easiest Cyberdemon encounter in the entire series, and honestly I found it quite underwhelming. Remember that missile barrage attack that made you be careful where you were standing? Yeah, here you could just freeze time and safely move to a safe spot without any sense of urgency. Good fucking job, id. You pull the nuclear bike pump out from the Cyberdemon, once again solidifying that this is indeed not canon, and uses it to try to shut down the Hell Portal, but whoops, everything goes wrong, so he climbs to the top in an attempt to stop it before Dr. Hayden jacks his system and shuts him off for interfering with his plans. A sudden ending that cuts off right as the action was starting to get good, but I admit I found it a bit rewarding, particularly for this view. I mean, look at this is beautiful. But sadly, I can say that the parts I enjoyed the most of this adventure was its lore and world building, not so much the gameplay or anything like that. The areas are beautiful, sure, but it was because of the gameplay and lore of the previous game that any of this got any intrinsic value. Don't play Doom VFR if you haven't played Doom 2016, and if Doom VFR doesn't seem interesting to you after playing Doom, then it's not worth your $30, and especially not worth buying a VR headset for. Doom isn't something you can easily adapt into VR, so I do think that the team responsible did the best that they could when it comes to turning Doom 2016 into a VR experience. I suppose one option would be to let you hold a controller and play Doom with the VR headset, but just thinking of that is turning my breakfast into a puddle on the floor. But honestly, it was a bit of a shame and probably the most underwhelming Doom experience I've had so far. Would I rather play this over Doom 3? Maybe. I didn't enjoy Doom 3 very much, and I only plan to go back to it again when I eventually review the BFG edition and its expansions, so maybe then I'd have a clearer answer on which I really consider the worst Doom experience. And again, seeing these environments in VR is really cool, and honestly I'd pay money to just have a Doom VR experience where there's no gameplay or anything, but you're just toured through the environments and maybe you see the Doomslayer ripping up demons from a spectator's perspective. That would be pretty cool. The idea to pad the game out with doing busy work just feels lazy, like they're padding for time, and the few VR exclusive puzzles they have are just so boring. I know Half-Life Alyx is coming out soon, and I really want to give that game a try. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for it being a genuinely good VR experience, because so far, outside of games like Beat Saber, I'm not sure if I'm very optimistic about the future of VR. There isn't really much in terms of post-game content. You can replay levels to collect things you might have missed, but in terms of non-campaign content, the only thing you have here is the classic levels, all of the same ones that were available in Doom 2016, except they're available from the get-go. You don't need to pull a lever or anything, which sounds cool, and the novelty is amazing in some of these areas, playing these classic levels in VR, but again, because of the time-stopping teleporting thing, they aren't challenging and just aren't really that fun. I did really enjoy the classic Cyberdemon though not in the way I was probably supposed to. The damn thing just got stuck in a corner, and after a while of running out of ammo with all my weapons, I tried to pistol it, got bored, decided to sit down on the floor and make him dance for my amusement.
Dance for me, demon.
After a while, I just got bored, so I decided to take a nap, and when I woke up, he was still there. So anyway, Doom VFR, 10 out of 10. Let me take a nap with the Cyberdemon.